Gamers and gentlefolk, hello and welcome back to another match of the Nexus Gaming Series. I'm going to be your host this evening, The Sound, and I am excited to bring a Nexus Division semi-final. We are going to be seeing Can't Connect Stuns go up against Team Happy Cloud in a best of 5 for our single elimination postseason bracket. A little bit of background on these two teams and the division more generally. It was a smaller division at 7 teams, but the top half of the division definitely kind of set themselves apart from the bottom 3 teams. A far higher point total awarded to the top 4 teams, which made it into the postseason. These two teams, Can't Connect Stuns and Team Happy Cloud, both fixtures of the Nexus Division. They've been here for the past 3 seasons, and this is their 6th match in those 3 seasons of play. So they definitely have known each other, seen each other across the battleground many a time. I'm sure there's going to be a fair amount of scouting and good preparation that these both have done for one another. Let's take a look here just really quickly at how the final scores were tallied for the regular season. As we can see, first seed Can't Connect Stuns were able to secure 34 points, participating primarily in dominations. I think of their 12 series, only 2 of their series went to a full 3 games. And the same can be said for THC. Just an interesting little factoid between all of them. And checking out how these standings affect our bracket, we can see we've got the upper bracket, Can't Connect Stuns playing against Team Happy Cloud, and of course we will also have Boogans Forever going up against Boomer Gaming. I'm not sure if that match is scheduled, and if it is, when it is scheduled for, but be sure to be on the lookout. We've got a lobby up, so let me get there, and we can take a look at the battleground selection that we have here. So, as is tradition, the top seed team was automatically given the option of first pick and map pick. CCS opted for first pick, and map bans went out onto Volskaya and Braxis, with THC banning out Sky Temple and Infernal Shrine. So we are headed to BOE for the first game of our best of 5. BOE, a bit of a THC special. They have a 71% win rate on the battleground thus far this season. Their most picked map, far and away. And a little bit of an interesting change. In the regular season, CCS has favored map pick a lot more than first pick, so it's interesting to see them going for the first pick this time around. Here we are, first draft. I'm excited. We've got the Chromie ban coming out. Chromie, a priority pick for THC, something that has been banned against them a lot this season, and of course the automatic tracer ban from Team Happy Cloud. Mockery, on the other side, on Can't Connect Stuns, is known for the hero, so it is almost always banned out. We've got a follow-up ban onto Lucio. So it looks, based on my scouting, like the contested picks are going to be Rhaegar and Blaze between these two teams. You know, we've got these bans kind of going past each other, not a whole lot of overlap in the first few picks here, and it's going to be the Blaze first pick. That is the priority. Excellent. Blaze, an excellent offlaner, just a sturdy presence, and of course, there is the automatic Rhaegar lock-in. I would expect to see the Blaze and Rhaegar going in the first 2 rounds of the draft like this, probably for the whole season. They may creep into the bans, but I also imagine these bans are pretty well locked in. Diablo and Hanzo. Hanzo, a top pick for CCS thus far this season, one of their most popular, if not their most popular assassin. We've got the Uther ban. Excellent. And Muradin. Okay. Next 2 picks here for THC. They need some more frontline heroes here. We could see something like an Anubarak picked up, if I had to guess. Johanna instead, okay. And Malthael, interesting. Not a hero that I am accustomed to seeing too often. Can trade pretty favorably into the Blaze in lane, but definitely doesn't offer as much utility to the team. Last 2 picks for CCS, they need a healer, and it's going to be the Anduin Genji. All right. The Shimada Brother combo there. A pretty common DPS pairing for CCS throughout the season, and it's going to be Thrall last pick for the side of THC. All right, we'll let these 2 teams load into game 1, and as they do, we can take a look at where we're headed with these heroes. So game 1, we've got Blaze Diablo on the front line for CCS with Johanna Malthael Thrall for THC. I think I'm favoring CCS's draft, though THC are definitely experts on the battleground. So with their pick, we could see that be the defining factor here. We'll have to see how it turns out as we get into game number 1 here. We can take a look and introduce our teams. Here on the left in blue, we've got CCS, Can't Connect Stuns, Shredded Wind on Anduin, Mockery playing Hanzo, Porky on Diablo, Arik on Genji, and the Mainski playing Blaze. And to the right in red, we've got Team Happy Cloud, THC, Nexus playing Johanna, 275 Delta on Rhaegar, 8-Bit on Malthael, Drinking Bird playing Li Ming, and Fade on Thrall. As we get into the first wave of the game, we can see a 4-hero commitment on the bot side from Team Happy Cloud, but on the top side we've got Arik hunting for 8-Bit a little bit there. Checking in on our builds, it is simple geometry for Mockery at level 1, looking to stack up those scatter arrow shots. Thrall finding Arik here in the jungle puts a little bit of damage in onto the Genji as they rotate down. Nothing too surprising from our level 1 talents. And we're definitely going to see a lot of Fade and Arc kind of playing around the jungle here in the early stages of the game, not wanting to leave their offlaner in top unattended, because I have to assume that CCS are thinking about ganking Malthael often. He is a fragile hero, a 4-hero commitment, in fact, to top lane now, which gives THC the green light to get onto this bottom siege camp. Started that one up. And in top, we've got 8-Bit going down to Mockery, First Blood going over to CCS. So a kill for a camp is the trade. We can take a look at the experience a little bit in favor of CCS here, thanks to a little bit more minion experience as well as that hero kill. Checking in on top lane, we've got Fade taking over for the Malthael. 8-Bit headed off to start the back Bruiser camp, getting this Shaman prepared before the first objective phase is announced here in the next 4 seconds. Level 4 talents on both sides. Porky has opted for the Eternal Flames? Soul to the Flame at level 4. Perhaps going for a full W build there. And we've got Arik going for Shuriken Mastery at level 4. Trying to get those stacks in order to increase their damage. Immortals spawning in the next 5 seconds, and an excellent flip over from Porky on that Shaman will put that camp out of commission very quickly. A lot of damage going on to CCS's Immortal here. THC definitely have a lot of race potential with all of their auto attack damage. And so it's going to be a quick halftime win going over to THC. Of course, this camp in bot has not been dealt with yet, so the front gate has already gone down. A little bit more siege going over to CCS, thanks to their relative free clear on the top side. With 4 zoning, Drinking Bird is having a hard time getting their damage onto this Immortal. All the while, Mockery is shelling away, getting a lot of damage onto the Immortal thanks to their level 4 sharpened arrowheads. Serrated arrows, rather. Nyx is falling low here. The race is getting pretty tight, but it's looking pretty clear that THC will end up taking this first objective. A healthy chunk of shielding HP taken off by CCS. I don't expect them to be too frustrated with how they performed. A flip over on the Johanna means Nexus has to commit the Iron Skin, so they won't have it here as level 7 talents start up. Porky kind of caught on the wrong side of the Immortal, able to waddle back before the stun comes in. A great flip and shove onto Fade, who's falling low. Arik Swift strikes after and finishes up for the kill. Of course, they trade 1 for 1 there, but that trade definitely favors CCS thanks to the quest reset they've given. Another flip onto Nexus. That's an excellent setup for that scatter shot from Mockery. And souls completed. The Black Soulstone quest for Porky. Now, full tankiness achieved, as well as an excellent bit of CDR on their respawn. They'll get right onto this top siege camp, 8-Bit in bot lane, doing the same. Both teams doing a great job keeping on top of these macro trades, making sure that no one is able to sneak a camp for free. Experience still favoring CCS, a little bit of hero kill experience being the difference maker there. We had a bit of a wait and see to hopefully catch a poorly rotating member of THC, but they were very disciplined. And so no kills found. About a 3/4 level gap between CCS and their heroic talents. THC have done a decent job closing the gap. Only about a 1/4 of a level separates these two as they race towards the heroic talent tier. We can see 8-Bit doing as much as they can to kind of bully that matchup, take advantage of the percentage damage that they bring to bear onto such a heavy HP pool as Blaze. With Fade's level 4 quest, I have to assume that they're looking... Oh my god, an instant rip on the Dragon's Arrow. Nexus does still have the Iron Skin, so they're able to escape a little bit. Eric goes in. They're deep now, down below 1,000 HP, but it looks like THC aren't going to be able to finish off the Genji player. So an excellent snap engagement once heroics were unlocked. A really fast Dragon's Arrow sent out from Mockery, and CCS are able to get onto the race ahead of THC. 8-Bit caught on the wrong side of the fight there. They will go down. A lot of damage going on to Eric here. They X-Strike out, and Mainsky drops the bunker. So 1-for-0 kills. A very timely Ancestral onto Drinking Bird will save Li Ming's life, and buy enough space for Can't Connect stuns to finish off the first half of the objective. THC looks like they've decided to forego putting any additional damage onto the objective, instead giving CCS all this room to build up almost a 2/3, if not 3/4 shield advantage onto the Immortal, opting instead to grab their Bruiser Camp here. The Bruiser Camp may help keep this top wave at bay as the objective spawns here, but it's not going to get a whole heck of a lot of value. I have to wonder if that was a trade worth making. THC do have a fair bit of poke available through Drinking Bird as they try and whittle down the HP of this Immortal. Mockery finishing out the simple geometry quest there, getting 2 additional shots of their Scatter Arrow. 8-Bit lurking on the side here. Fade rips the Sundering, Porky falling low. 8-Bit will secure the final bit of HP with their heroic last rites committed there in the end. With that heavy commitment and focus to the player kills, it means that THC had to forego putting damage on this Immortal, and top fort goes down for THC. So first full structure going over to CCS. 8-Bit in a bit of trouble here. Mockery, Eric, and Shredded all looking for them. They don't pull the trigger, however. I would have expected Porky to try and get some CC onto 8-Bit there. We are neck and neck up towards the next talent tier. Looks like a little bit more Mercenary XP is bridging the gap on Hero XP, which is why the deficit is so narrow. We've got pings coming in from Fade, looking for a 5-hero commitment down on bot lane. Arik does scout them. Fade gets the root onto Genji, but has to back up. Some real disciplined usage of the Iron Skin will get Nexus out without too much hassle. And of course, the 5-hero commitment in bot lane means the Mainsky is unfettered here in top to get another siege camp. Level 13's online for both sides. Porky has opted for the Dragon, or the Flame Stomp at 13. Hellfire amping up the spell power, looking for potential big damage on their Lightning Breaths, as well as big healing from all of those Flame Stomps that come out thanks to their Eternal Flames level 7, getting a reset on that heal every time they successfully stun an opponent. Level 13 also unlocks Blessed Hammers, which is a pretty big power spike for Nexus. 8-bit has unlocked Inevitable End, so they are able to do a fair bit of risky positioning. A bit of a lead here for CCS on that Immortal burn. Team Happy Cloud are looking to engage. Blessed Shield just about off cooldown here. We'll see if Nexus rips it. Instead, it's going to be an engagement onto the side of THC. Nexus on the wrong side of the bunker here, already committing the Iron Skin means the Johanna will go down. 8-bit caught with the Dragon's Arrow and a connection from Mainski on Blaze. 8-bit will go down as well. Drinking Bird caught in a bad spot. They'll trade for the Diablo, who only had 97 souls in the bank. So Diablo won't be back any faster than usual, but it means that they will still have a fair bit of tankiness for this next objective push. All the while, the camp in bot lane took out bottom fort. So 2 forts down for the side of THC. It's starting to look a little bit more one-sided in favor of CCS. Far from out of the game, though. THC absolutely continue to scale into this late game. And one good flank from Fade, Sundering to catch Mockery or Shredded Wind could be the difference maker in these future team fights. Something that I'll continue to look for here. Immortal now down to the ground. They've taken to melee form. And this is where having a triple melee setup can be difficult. The composition does not poke as well as a double ranged onto this Immortal, so it's hard to stop the siege. There's the double stun. Mainski pops the bunker to avoid the last rites. Arik unable to catch anyone with that light bomb. Nexus chasing in, looking for a slow with Subdue. Nexus falling very low here. There's the Ancestral. Fade and Delta both in danger. It's Delta to go down first. Nexus and 8-bit trying to escape here. Lots of heroics used for no real benefit on the side of THC. And with bot keep down, it looks like CCS are going to try and posture a bit here. See if they can't get any further commitment from THC. THC are happy to get back to the Hall of Storms, heal up, and so CCS do not dawdle. Head straight to this top siege camp, or bruiser camp rather, and they are looking, oh my god, so much damage onto Eric there. Arik eating a full mirror ball from Drinking Bird there. Fade still looking to complete the Wolf Pack quest at level 4. It's got great synergy with Alpha Wolf at 16. If you're able to get it, all of that cooldown reduction on your Feral Spirit gives you many more opportunities for percent damage. But the quest resetting once you die makes it a tough one to complete. Full level lead in favor of CCS as the next objective is announced. Team Happy Cloud have a big wave to deal with in bot, 2 catapults, and the siege camp. Of course, that's given CCS plenty of time to guard up that bruiser camp. They've got lots of lane pressure in their favor now, so they're going to get a pretty decisive first halftime burn. Some heroics committed as well as the leap of faith. There's Arik going in with the X-Strike. Drinking Bird having fallen already. Oh, the stun lands onto Johanna. The Iron Skin wears out before they're able to make it out alive. 2 for nothing in favor of CCS. These late game team fights continue to go in CCS's favor. Team Happy Cloud are going to have to fall back and tend to their lanes. With Fade and 8-Bit out here, Porky's looking for an opportunity. Arc goes in onto 8-Bit. They've got a lot of damage at their back thanks to the level 4 and 13 combo between Shingan and Shuriken Mastery. And there we see what happens. Fade didn't stand a chance. That's another death for Thrall, but they did complete the Frostwolf Pact quest. Of course, with CCS pressuring this bot lane, it means that the full shield Immortal is unfettered in top lane. Blessed Shield out onto 3. Arik looking for Drinking Bird with the Light Bomb. An excellent cleanse onto 8-Bit will get them out alive. Porky falling low. There is Last Rites available, but they're well above half. Nexus falls. 8-Bit is low. And the Immortal just about through the top keep here. Shielding on the core going down. Of course, this catapult kind of focused on the wrong thing. Porky looking for Delta here. They're caught under towers thanks to that Earthgrasp totem. Fade pops the Sundering. Mainsky falls low here. They no longer have the bunker. But it's the core that's taking most of the punishment, down below 30%, and the Immortal shows no sign of stopping. They've got some kills at their back, but in the end, Team Happy Cloud goes down. GG and well played to our teams. So a first map when going over to CCS. They didn't control the early objectives, but as soon as they got their heroic talent tier, it was a pretty decisive turn as far as tempo is concerned. And so CCS will take the 1-0 lead. Let's take a look at our post-game stats to see who did the most damage, who collected the most experience, and also, of course, to check in on those builds. We've got 8-Bit, top of the team for THC. The percent damage into Diablo, definitely a contributing factor there, whereas on the side of CCS, Mockery was the top of the charts for damage. Checking in on our talents, see if there's anything out of the ordinary. Nothing strikes me as outside of the norm. Delta opting for the Earth Shield at 13. Probably the best burst heal option for Rhaegar at that talent tier. And at level 16, some Hanzo players will opt for Pierce, but Mockery instead opting for Giant Slayer there. And the kill count kind of says it all, 12 takedowns to 4. Once those heroics came online, it looked like CCS really had a lot of good synergies there, and they were able to clean up those fights. Not as much was... It just looked like, frankly, the Leap of Faiths from Shredded made a lot of difference. The Sundering and Blessed Shield from Fade and Nexus, respectively, would land onto the appropriate targets, but one combo from Drinking Bird typically wasn't enough to seal the deal. Alright, let's head back to our Battleground selection here. And we will see where our teams head for the second game of the evening. For all those who tuned in somewhere in the middle of Game 1, welcome back to the stream. Excited to have you joining us. We've got Can't Connect Stuns going up against Team Happy Cloud in a best-of-5 semi-final match. This, as I mentioned before Game 1, this is the 6th meeting of these two teams in the past 3 seasons. Of course, it's worth noting that the 2 most recent matches did go to CCS. It went in their favor quite convincingly, dominations in both matches this season. So it would be a huge reversal in their fates to see how, if they're able to take some game wins here against CCS. And it looks like we are headed to Cursed Hollow for Game 2. Cursed Hollow, definitely a common pick for CCS. Not one of their absolute most picked, but one that they have shown liking to picking it plenty of times thus far in the regular season. And we could see any number of draft changes here. CCS have gotten creative on this battleground. We could even see an Abathur pick. So we'll see how that turns out. And it looks like we do have a draft ready. We can head over there and get into it for game number 2. Another Lucio ban. Definitely not something that is too surprising. There's the Brightwing ban as well. These are pretty high priority picks for both teams. All right, interesting. Going for the Tracer, of course. No Hammer ban, no Hanzo ban. So there are still heroes available. Sylvanas ban. Interesting, interesting. Is it going to be the Rhaegar? Is it going to be the Blaze? Those are the ones I expect. Mainski did have some huge plays, and so it's not too surprising to see the Blaze picked away here by THC. And there's Hogger and Rhaegar. Little dog pack of sorts assembled by Can't Connect Stuns. We could round it out with a Greymane pick, potentially. They have played it thus far this season. Next 2 picks here for THC. There are still globals available. We could see it's like Genji and Muradin picks instead. The Genji pick, definitely a highly contested pick here in the Nexus division. There's the Falstad ban, trying to narrow those globals. I think the only global left, the only true global left at this point is Stage Dive ETC. There's the Abathur ban. THC have done their homework. Can't Connect Stuns have shown double support in the regular season, though I would be surprised to see it here on Cursed Hollow. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised to see another Diablo pick from Porky. And there it is. And Arik opting for Maiev. Yeah, Genji does not put too much pressure onto the beefy HP pool of Diablo, so THC may look for a little bit more percent damage out of Drinking Bird here. And we'll see which healer Delta picks up now that they'll be off Rhaegar and don't have Brightwing. It's going to be Anduin and Hanzo. Alright, Hanzo definitely solves the percent damage problem by getting Giant Slayer at 16. Another Shimada Brother combo, this time fielded by THC. After seeing how good CCS made it look, no reason not to pick it up. And there's the Sergeant Hammer pick. Alright, we can get into the second game here. a hot second. Let's take a look at these heroes as these teams go through the swap round and load into the game. It's an interesting combination of frontline and backline that CCS have put together. In my mind, Sergeant Hammer kind of likes to play at range, whereas Maiev, of course, is a lot closer range. It could very well be that they're expecting to kind of pepper people down with Hammer and then have Maiev, Hogger, and Diablo hop in to finish things off. But with Light Bomb Genji, Sergeant Hammer might be under a bit of threat, so we'll see how both of our teams fare in this second game of the series. Let's see how it works out. And we can introduce our teams here on the left. Once again, we've got CCS, Can't Connect Stuns, Shredded Wind on Rhaegar, Arik on Maiev, Porky on Diablo, Mockery on Sergeant Hammer, and the Mainski on Hogger. To the right in red, we've got Team Happy Cloud. Fade on Genji, Delta on Anduin, Drinking Bird on Hanzo, Nexus on Murden, and 8-Bit playing Blaze. Fade finds Porky and Arik, takes a lot of damage, and that's the leap of faith from Delta spent very early. We can see both teams already spreading out to lanes, trying to keep CCS from getting any early siege value from the Sergeant Hammer pick. Wouldn't want to leave a lane unattended, so THC kind of split up and we're ready for any rotations. First objective will spawn in the top lane. We'll see how Drinking Bird fares against Mockery here in bot lane. Porky doing a great job anchoring for Mockery there. They do still have the thrusters, so they're able to get out before Fade puts too much damage on them. And it will be a little bit of the name of the game for Team Happy Cloud. They are likely to continue trying to chase Sergeant Hammer around the map, keep the siege tank from getting too much value if left unattended. We've got Fade working on that siege camp on the right-hand side with Shredded and Arik capping this bruiser camp here. I like the early bruiser camp grab. It's going to give CCS the opportunity to get some push done with this camp before the first objective spawns. And Team Happy Cloud have not responded with bruiser camp of their own. Level 4s have unlocked pin down for Maiev. Arik looking to get that stacked up and amp up all of their Vengeful Knives damage. Mockery opting for Regenerative Biosteel at level 4 rather than Siege Tactics. So a Light Bomb Genji could be very effective. Nexus thrown over the edge there, and already one stack on pin down for Arik. A lot of siege damage brought to bear here. The whole fort front wall going down in mid as the first objective is announced here in top lane. This is a terrible lane if you're Drinking Bird. They do not have very many tools to deal with Mockery here, and so the Sergeant Hammer is going to get a fair bit of free siege on the bottom side of the battleground. On the top side, we've got 3 heroes committed from CCS. Nyx falling. Oh, caught on the wall. What a great wallbang from Porky. That Shadow Charge sealing the fate. Delta able to get one stun there thanks to the Pierce on their level 4 Piercing Light. But in the end, first objective channel will go in favor of Can't Connect Stuns. And on the bot side, Sergeant Hammers continue to shell away. Mockery bullying any DPS that meets the siege tank in lane. Fade, I don't think, noticed that their back got interrupted there. Level 7s now on both sides. About a half-level lead in favor of CCS, thanks in part to that hero kill lead, but also the minion kill experience. Speaking of level 7s, what do we have? Elun's Wrath, pretty common pick at level 7. Hover Siege mode, a very important tool for Mockery. 8-Bit now caught on the wrong side of a very beefy Diablo hitbox. Excellent body blocks here. Will put a lot of hurt onto Blaze. They're able to make it out with sub 500 HP as the next objective spawns in mid lane. 2 heroes from THC are committed to that capture, but it means that Can't Connect stuns continue to siege up here in the bot side. Mockery taking a lot of damage, but a timely cleanse from Shredded will get the siege tank out alive. Arik looking for blood here. Nexus and 8-Bit both falling low. Fade gonna fall to the Maiev. Vengeful Knives clinches it. So another kill in favor of Can't Connect stuns. 5 minutes on the clock means that both bosses have unlocked. We'll see if either team puts a big priority onto capturing that. Looks like we've got Porky, Shredded, and Mockery already starting up this bottom boss. With THC not starting the reciprocal boss, Drinking Bird is alone on this top side. They are a majority of the boss burn for Happy Cloud, but with how much of a head start CCS had, I don't know how much they've got. They're going to be able to finish in time. Okay, fair enough. And of course, heroics are online for CCS, which is going to be a free tribute for them down in the middle side of the battleground. We've got Ancestral Healing, Lightning Breath, Napalm Strike, and Hortapult. Still holding on the Maiev heroic, which is an interesting selection. So bottom fort goes down. Mockery caught by Fade here. An excellent boop into the Spider Mines will secure a safe rotation for Sergeant Hammer. Next objective spawning here on the top side, and CCS are in range to stall it as they finish working on this boss. They're probably going to have it taken out well before the objective spawns. And in mid lane, we've got Mockery pushing away with the Bruiser Camp. Fade looking for some damage onto them. They pop the Dragon Claw, but end up getting a tough go of the trade. Mockery able to get out. Nexus on the wrong side of the fight will go down. 4v1. Drinking Bird finishes off their simple geometry quest. And with the main tank from THC in the respawn window, I have to expect... Yeah, this is another kill going over to CCS. So I have to expect that's going to be a curse for them. They're not too worried about securing it hastily. Shredded already trying to cut this wave here on top side, while Mockery gets busy on the mid fort here. Simporky flanking in, but there's no damage behind the CC that THC have brought to bear. Fade looks for some damage there. A huge Dragon's Arrow lands onto Arik, who will draw the Ancestral Healing. Containment Disc goes wide, and it's Maiev to fall first. 5v4 here in mid, 5v3 now. A great Light Bomb lands onto the Hammer. They do still have their armor thanks to their, whatever the E is called. Porky taking a lot of damage, body blocked to all hell. And so that will be a reset on the Soul Stone for... Oh, Fade able to make it out. And big shield from Augmented Guard at level 7. Heroics on the other side, we saw some of them ripped. It's X-Strike, Light Bomb, Dragon's Arrow, Avatar, and Bunker. Team Happy Cloud still trailing a bit in experience, looking for the next talent tier. We can see that this is largely due to the superior structure experience that CCS have been able to secure, and that has also given them a passive XP boost. Level 13s now unlocks bladed armor. Arc looking for more survivability anytime they land their Phantom Knives. Level 13 also unlocks for THC 8-bit, looking for a flank, but they're kind of caught on an island now. Oh, Light Bomb does not connect. Fade has to X-Strike their way out. Auric falling low here. Nexus brought back in under tower range. Ancestral goes out onto the main ski. And it looks like after a near miss on this engagement, both teams are going to walk away with no heroes lost. An engagement on the Porky again. Diablo does not have souls, and so they are a far more desirable target for aggression. Of course, on the top side, this siege camp has been going away and has gotten meaningful damage on that top keep. So they do lose their main tank, but CCS don't trade it for nothing. Next objective spawning on the top side of the battleground. No curses in sight for either team, however. Level 16, the next objective for either of these teams to secure. The kill onto Porky definitely helped THC catch up towards level 16, but they're not quite on par yet. Bosses once again traded here on bot and top side respectively. We'll probably never see CCS look for an invade given the slow rotation speed of Sergeant Hammer comps. So THC probably feel very safe to take that boss even if they're taking it a little bit later than CCS. Level 16s on both sides. Giant Slayer is available for Hanzo, so Porky potentially in more danger. A great pull from Delta. They do still have a charge of that thanks to their level 16 Glyph of Faith. Porky has found the Boy King of Stormwind, however, and they're taking a lot of damage. Mainski Portapults in. Mockery taking a lot of damage from Fade will draw the Ancestral, and Porky under towers does not care. Takes out Delta on the Anduin. 8th built falls low. This is all that percent damage from Aric's level 16 Vengeful Knives. Nexus might make it out alive. Oh, Porky flips them just out of the stun. Boss has finished off bottom keep, and Mockery a little bit caught behind the rest of the team here. Fade will take out the Sergeant Hammer. Core has started to take damage. There is a catapult connected as well as the rest of THC. Only Genji remains alive, and they're not going to be enough to fend off this surging home team. GG and well played once again. So we've got a 2-0 lead going in favor of CCS. An absolute terrible game to play if you're not the Sergeant Hammer player, frankly. The draft definitely seemed ripe for that long-range damage trading monster that is Sergeant Hammer. There were a couple great engagements that Team Happy Cloud had with the Light Bomb Genji, but a couple strange late-game rotational splits, namely catching Porky's ability to catch Delta there in mid lane was kind of what sealed the deal for CCS. Were this a best of 3, as has been every other meeting of Can't Connect Stuns and Team Happy Cloud, this would be all she wrote. However, here in the postseason, we go to Game 5, which is pretty exciting. I'm interested to see if the further into the battleground selection we get, if THC doesn't unlock some special sauce that will give them insight onto how to take care of this CCS squad. A relatively low takedown game, 8-5, but it was the timing of the takedowns that really made the difference. CCS able to get those kills when they mattered most. All right. And it looks like we have our battleground selection. Excellent. Oh, sorry about that. You got to see behind the curtain and catch the brief window into the lobby. I'll be interested to see if the draft flexibility of CCS continues to foil Team Happy Cloud. The two teams have played 42 heroes and 36 heroes respectively this season. Worth noting, however, that I think, 28 games of all of their games, or 28 of those 42 heroes for CCS, and 19 of the 36 for Team Happy Cloud were played in 2 games or fewer. And that, to me, says that the draft flexibility of CCS, 28 heroes at 2 games or less, is a lot of who knows what we might see next. So we are likely to continue seeing that Tracer ban locked in for Team Happy Cloud, but it gives Porky a lot of flexibility to pick their tank slate, as has been kind of the case for much of the season. And of course, Dragonshire is a favorable map for CCS. They've performed well on it thus far this season, and they've selected it once again as we get into potentially the final game of Team Happy Cloud's postseason run. Should have it any minute now. Excellent. Let's get into game 1. First pick going over to Team Happy Cloud. We're likely to see another Tracer ban. There it is. The harassment that Tracer offers on this battleground, along with the one-trick potential, or hazard, I should say. Lucio banned again. So both teams respecting the Lucio play out of each other. It is one of the most popular heroes. There's a Diablo ban. Okay. Trying to narrow the options for Porky there after 2 straight Diablo games. Lucio has been a top priority pick for much of the Nexus division, so not too surprising to see them showing up in the ban phase in each of our 3 games thus far. It's going to be the Chromie ban again. Okay. Chromie, a pretty solid choice on Dragonshire. The vision that she offers through her time traps can make navigating the Delta a lot less scary. First pick here, I'm predicting once again either Rhaegar or Blaze. It's Johanna first pick. Get out of town. All right, so it looks like THC are trying to narrow the tank pool a bit, getting their Joe pick. Of course, that but leaves the opportunity for Right Wing and Hogger. Okay. A global hero and a global healer, no less, can make all the difference on a battleground with so many independent skirmishes going on. Able to heal any teammate that is engaged in Mortal Kombat. Next 2 picks here for THC. Oh, we're going to pick the Hanzo and Rhaegar. Okay. So both teams doing a fair bit of adaptation here, trying to pick away heroes that their opponents had played well on. Next ban available for CCS. I'd expect to see... Sylvanas. Okay. I would have guessed a Blaze ban. Blaze, not the best duelist over top point. Hogger definitely besting him there, but once again, the utility that that hero brings to any 5v5 team fight is hard to pass up. I expect to see another tank ban here from THC. And I'm not wrong, Sergeant Hammer is a siege tank. Okay. So, really heavily targeting Mockery's hero pool here. Hanzo, Hammer, and Tracer, all signature heroes. Arik back on their Genji, and Porky locking in the Muradin. Final 2 picks here, an off lane and 1 flex pick. Drinking Bird, we may see another Li Ming pick from them. Of course, I think they've also played some Junkrat this season. Zeratul. Nice. A spicier pick than I would have expected. Last pick here available for CCS. A little bit more wave clear Zagara. Okay. Zagara does bring some wave clear, so that's not so bad. Let's get into our third game here shortly. And let's pick apart these drafts as our teams load in. Globals on both sides. Rotational threats on both sides in the Genji and Zeratul respectively. Zagara and Hanzo both do a fair bit of vision control and wave clear, so they'll be able to hold a lane. I think the wave clear advantage that Team Happy Cloud have accrued is going to favor them a fair bit. It's hard to gank folks when you're behind on rotations. So we'll see if that is the difference maker as we get into Game 3, potentially the final game of the season for THC, fighting for their tournament lives. Let's introduce our teams. On the left here, we've got Can't Connect Stuns, Shredded Wind on Bright Wing, Porky on Muradin, Arik on Genji, the Mainski on Hogger, and Mockery playing Zagara. And to the right in red, we've got THC, Team Happy Cloud, playing Rhaegar, Delta, Drinking Bird on Zeratul, Nexus on Johanna, and Fade, Hanzo, and 8-Bit playing Dahaka, who gets a fantastic drag onto Porky. Shredded Wind phase shifts in and pays for Muradin's sins. First blood going over to Team Happy Cloud, and I have to assume that you're pretty happy with the start of the game. Getting a quick kill. Fade taking the aggressive jump over onto Mockery. They will eat a tower shot. Delta almost baited over the wall there. A very unfortunate interaction that I've run into with Rhaegar before. And we've got Drinking Bird taking a lot of damage. Arik goes over the wall looking for the kill. And it's going to be another kill going over to Team Happy Cloud. Drinking Bird had fallen low there, but Genji bit off a bit more than they can chew. With these early kills, Team Happy Cloud are going to try and get aggressive onto this left side siege camp. I think Can't Connect stuns are a little too late to rotate and prevent them from capturing it. It's not a huge beneficial grab for THC. It's more of a deny pick. Fade eats the stun, and it's likely to go down here. Arik falling low, but in the end, they will not trade Shimada for Shimada. So first kill going over to CCS. They've left this camp rolling, which that's what I was going to say we probably wouldn't see happen. So a little bit of cheeky chip damage there. 8-bit dueling it out with Mainski. And level 4 is now online for both of our teams. Porky hopping over the wall there means they do not have their jump available to them for disengage. Fade takes a fair bit of damage. Shredded is the first to fall. Eric falling low and will end up dying to their brother. 8-bit gets another kill, so another 3 kills going over to Team Happy Cloud. They concede both top and bottom shrine, but with Drinking Bird here in mid, they're none too concerned about Dragon Knight getting snuck away from them. And a large experience gap for Team Happy Cloud. Almost 2,000 XP from hero kills alone, which puts them about a level and a quarter ahead towards the next talent tier. Checking in on top side, Drinking Bird and 8-bit putting a lot of pressure onto Mainski. They're able to get the spin out and tap well for safety. Porky scouting this bottom camp, all the while Team Happy Cloud, Delta, and Fade working on the top bruiser camp, which should help 8-bit continue to pressure this top lane. We've got Hogger on the point, 8-bit still in range for delays. Level 7's now in Team Happy Cloud's hands. Nexus still has their Iron Skin available to them, and will spend it there. It is a full W build from Fade on Hanzo, having unlocked Never Outmatched at 7, so they're looking for cooldown reduction on those scatter arrows. Nexus taking a fair bit of punishment here. Porky able to hop out. A 4-hero commitment to the bottom lane. And that's going to be a double channel on the altars for THC. Porky is doing their best to try and keep the point contested, but they're falling very low. Dahaka digs in now. 8-bit gets the tongue onto Mockery. A offensive purge will secure it in favor of THC. Lots of kills going in their favor. Drinking Bird and Arik dueling a bit in mid, but another kill favoring THC means they're going to get another opportunity to get onto the aggressive siege camp. Arik looking for Nexus here. They're able to use the Iron Skin, but in the end, they will fall. Porky and Shredded both falling low here. It's going to be the right wing to fall first. Porky gets the trait healing procced. And Fade looking for the kill. They hop over the wall to safety. They still have that agility available to them. Heroics are just around the corner for THC. And it looks like we've got a bit of an altar trade here. Fade takes a lot of damage. There is a purge available, but they don't have their ancestral healing available yet. A timely kill will catch CCS back up towards their heroics. They're just around the corner as THC have already unlocked theirs. Anything out of the ordinary? Nothing too strange. We've got Blink Heal, Avatar, Maw, Portapult. Delta face checking Porky there. Will take a fair bit of damage from Mockery. Drinking Bird, oh my god, from downtown, the Dragon's Arrow. Drinking Bird able to do a lot of damage, but Shredded gets a great Soothing Mist cleanse. 8-bit caught in the maw here. and Nexus on the far side of the fight. This is a 5v4 with Fade in range. Mainsky isn't going to make it. 8-Bit nonetheless is the first to fall. Nexus is falling low now as well. 2-4-0. Outnumbered nonetheless. Can't connect stuns. After taking what looked to be a highlight reel play of a Dragon's Arrow from Fade, end up turning it in their favor, taking out 2 heroes and securing the Dragon Knight. So a first objective here at just under the 7-minute mark. We've got Mainsky setting up with top lane, trying to buy some space for the rest of Can't Connect stuns to siege up in bottom lane with their Bruiser camp. This is not the worst approach to early Dragon Knights. Splitting the pressure with your team there rather than sieging up together means that you're able to get a lot more done. Mainsky able to get through the full front wall here on top, and already about a quarter of that top 4 HP taken out. All the while, Can't Connect stuns are working on the mid fort, pushing the old-fashioned way. Lots of Skullcrackers going onto Nexus. Another Dragon's Arrow from downtown, followed up by the Blessed Shield. Shredded Wind falls low. 8-Bit is able to land the isolation and the drag. Lots of damage onto Brightwing. They will fall. Porky falls low as well. Pops the Avatar, but they don't have a jump, so they're going to fall. 2-0. Top fort goes down. In the meantime, Mainsky able to finish off that structure. And these back and forth kills are keeping the experience neck and neck. Level 13s have unlocked for CCS, and they're just around the corner for THC. Of course, with no top fort in their favor, Team Happy Cloud are going to have a tough time dealing with the Sun Shrine moving forward. Dahaka not going to be able to contest Hogger as freely now that they don't have a safety net to fall back to. Arik jumping in onto Fade there. They take a lot of damage. Delta puts some healing onto them. There is still no Ancestral Healing. Drinking Bird able to blink out. Porky jumping in. Nexus has no mana. But these 4 heroes will make it out alive. Delta heading back to get a little bit more mana, which means that CCS will secure their second structure of the game. And they're going to get aggressive here. Stun onto Fade. Fade hops over the wall. They connect the X-Strike. They're looking for the kill onto... Oh my god. Fade lives. Shimada on Shimada violence. Porky jumps, I have to assume, in the wrong direction. Perhaps a mini-map click. Drinking Bird doing a lot of harassing here on the bot side. A little bit of lag there. Apologies. So another kill favoring THC. 8-Bit digging in here. Oh, the isolation does not land, but they connect with the drag. Shredded Wind able to blink out. Mainsky falling low here. They do have a Hortipult for escape, but they're not going to be able to use it in time. Top does have a camp pushing against it, but once again, these kills are buying Team Happy Cloud a lot of room to get the map back in order. Delta does have Ancestral Healing. I don't think they'd love to use it on Nexus. Porky continuing to chase them down there. And they're not going to let them back for free. Porky and Shredded both looking for the Johanna kill. Shredded falling very low here. Porky 1v4 in the middle of THC. It's going to be all she wrote for the Dwarf King. Murden going down. This could open up an opportunity for Team Happy Cloud to grab the DK of their own. It looks like Mainsky will get onto the Sun Shrine in time as the Moon Shrine is contested here. It's in fact a double altar channel in favor of Can't Connect stuns. They've got the lane pressure. The Dragon's Arrow lands onto Arik. They are able to Dragon Strike or X-Strike their way out, however. Mockery dodges the drag And with the 5-hero commitment to bot lane, Team Happy Cloud gives away another Dragon Knight. Mainsky able to pick up the second DK of the game, and we are likely to see them focus on the mid fort there. A 4-hero commitment to mid lane from THC to try and burn down this Dragon Knight as quickly as possible. Level 16s on both sides. We've got an engagement here onto 8-bit. Drinking Bird has found Mockery on the bottom side of the fight, but they're gonna circle back to group up 5v5 here. Still a fair bit of health left on this mid fort. Dragon Knight just about complete. A great stun onto Nexus puts a lot of pressure. A great cleanse from Delta. A stun onto 2. Porky's low and silenced. Is there a drag? A huge Dragon's Arrow, and it's Brightwing to fall. Fade goes over the wall. Drinking Bird is low. Auric looking for some kills. 8-bit gets a drag, but there's not a lot of damage to follow up on it. Porky able to get out with their avatar. So a 1-for-0 experience now in favor of THC, but once again, it's the lane pressure that is really favoring CCS. They've got a lot of pressure through catapults. They've been on top of getting all of their mercenary camps taken care of, putting the Bruiser camp into top lane as frequently as possible. So Team Happy Cloud definitely getting the team fight wins, but it's not netting them a lot of structure HP, and unfortunately that is what counts most. Porky able to get some damage onto 8-bit there. They will commit the Essence and disengage with a Maw from Mockery. Hogger has secured the Bruiser camp up in top. Porky jumping in once again onto Nexus. They don't have Avatar just yet. A massive Dragon's Arrow. It's Murden falling very low here. Auric and Shredded both down below 100 HP. They both fall. So an outnumbered fight win for Team Happy Cloud. Of course, all the while in bot lane, we've got a Siege camp and Catapult working on this bottom keep wall. That fort is, or that tower is likely to go down. So once again, Team Happy Cloud kind of committing heavily to the team fight while the map is not in their favor. Delta caught out by Mainsky here. Porky and Mockery both able to make the rotation in. Earth Grasp Totem will lock them down for a short time. Self-Ancestral might get Delta out here. Porky jumps in yet again, and that's going to be all she wrote for the Gladiator Shaman. 8-bit in trouble now. Caught 1v3. Porky getting a lot of those Skullcrackers in. Lots of mini stuns to prevent the retreat. Mainsky able to get onto the Sun Shrine and prevent the potential Dragon Knight capture. Storm Talent's just around the corner for THC. Of course, they won't have all 5 of their members while they have that talent tier advantage. And they're instead going to have to give a 3rd Dragon Knight. Mainsky once again into the DK. And we've got our sights set on the mid lane fort. Porky taking so much damage and CC. He's going to draw the phase shift from Shredded Wind. Drinking Bird looking for those kills. Mid fort is down. Bottom keep wall, the next target for Mainsky. They won't have a wave at their back, so I would expect to see them immediately start walking away. Hogger is a relatively safe hero to be this deep, given the various forms of Unstoppable that they've got in their kit. And in the end, they won't have to commit any of them. Alright, Storm Talents on both sides. We've got Invisible Friends, Rewind, Living Weapon, No Control, Pack Instincts for CCS, and Farseer's Blessing, Twilight Falls, interesting. Blinded by the Light, Target Practice, and Apex Predator, also interesting. not talents I'm used to seeing. Porky jumping in again. Nexus looking for as much safety as they can buy for the rest of THC. On the top side, we do still have 8-bit. It's a 5v4 for now. Farseer's Blessing lands onto Nexus. Dragon's Arrow catches most. No land on the isolation. 8-bit drag goes wide as well. Drinking Bird able to blink out. Another stun onto 8-bit. They receive the Earthen Shield in time, and they will make it out alive. Bottom keep starting to take a little bit of damage here, but there's a decent amount of anti-siege available to THC, so they're able to stem the bleeding a bit. So Apex Predator for 8-bit rather than Contagion means that Fade hitting those massive Dragon's Arrows aren't going to be starting some as commanding a CC chain as some might be used to at a level 20 teamfight level. Porky contesting here on the point. Nexus taking so much damage from Mockery and their summons. Living Weapon committed, but it's Shredded Wind who falls first. We've got an aggressive dig from 8-bit looking for Porky. They're able to sidestep the isolation, but not the drag, and it's another kill going over to THC. So 2 late-game teamfight wins mean that they are once again in the position of the power play here on the battleground. Nexus will finish off the bottom fort, relieve some of the catapult pressure. 8-bit unable to land the drag means he narrowly dodges that Dragon's Arrow. So a double channel opportunity for THC. Mockery has a lot of zoning potential, as does Mainski, but I don't think they're going to be able to stop 8-bit from getting the channel. First objective that THC have been able to secure thus far. Fade landing a couple really important scatter arrows onto Arik will put the Hanzo in danger, or I'm sorry, the Genji in danger, the other Shimada in danger. Of course, Mockery's level 16 talent, Corrosive Saliva, means that CCS put a lot of pressure on the DK's HP pool. And Drinking Bird had to go back to deal with top lane. The catapults and Bruiser Camp kind of pushing onto that top keep. Not the most common keep to see any team end with, but you don't want to have to deal with constant catapults on any lane at this point in the battleground. Or these Dragon Knight kicks means that THC are favored here. All of the defensive heroics go onto 8-bit, and Hanzo goes down. Mainski and Shredded both falling. Maw catches 2. But with another power play in their hands, I expect to see THC grab this Bruiser Camp, or this Siege Camp, and try and go core. Porky will make it out alive. Drinking Bird is on the hunt, however. Doesn't look like Zeratul is going to be able to finish off the kill. So there's still a lot of anti-siege available. Mockery and Arik, both ranged damage dealers, are available to help fend off all of the push that THC have. A bit of a optimistic isolation from 8-bit does not land. Porky able to jump out to safety. And the Zagara summons have done a lot to stem the tide of the push from Team Happy Cloud. Despite being 5v3 on the battleground for a fair bit of time, they're unable to secure even a bottom keep wall. Drinking Bird engages in onto Porky, a huge stun onto 2. Once again, Shredded has to blink out. Porky falling low. Arik gets the resets on Living Weapon, and Porky's able to jump out. Nexus falling very low, no longer with trait available. Man, these Late game fights are on a razor's edge, and THC have been doing a fantastic job locking the Brightwing down as they teleport in. Fade saving their Dragon's Arrow when that happens, but Shredded is no slouch on the hero. They're able to blink out in the most recent engagement, and now 8-Bit seems to be the target of CCS. With no vision on the map of the home team, Dahaka's going to play it safe, get started on this bot lane bruiser camp, or the top lane bruiser camp. The reciprocal one taken by CCS. Drinking Bird in truth stealth here knows that Porky and Mainsky are relatively isolated. 8-Bit looking for a drag. It will not connect. A little bit of self-peel from Porky with there. Oh, Drinking Bird is scouted by Auric there. And Happy Cloud show all 4 of the remaining heroes here in top lane on the wave. In bot, Mainsky is going to be able to deal with this siege camp. Once again, this means that THC know that they outnumber. Oh my god, so much damage onto Dahaka. A rewind secures the kill. Mockery falling low. Drinking Bird looking for the kill. Nexus trying to do some damage as well. Porky lands it onto Fade, but they are able to survive with the Ancestral. Porky falling low here. There's the phase shift in Fade. Oh no, the jump interrupted by the Skullcracker. 2 kills now in favor of CCS. Top fort will fall to the wave that THC built, but I think given how much more CCS have been able to get out of their power plays, their pushes, we could see a keep go down here. Drinking Bird here to put as much threat onto Auric as they can. They're going to blink away, but now they're kind of stuck. All right, they're able to get out with stealth before the Brightwing Polymorph lands. We've got a late game Sagara and a nearly 24-minute Dragon Knight. They are not concerned about which keep they're headed to. Mid looks just as good as bot as far as they're concerned. They've also got a catapult here in mid lane, so this keep not long for this world. We'll see if they go straight to core or instead want to work on bottom keep. Dragonshire, a notoriously difficult map to end on given the power of the call for help core mechanics. Those stun circles doing so much. Shut down teams. Double stun now. Nexus still has their Dragon's Arrow available, or their Iron Skin. Dragon's Arrow lands. There's the double Ancestral. Mainsky pops the no control. This is a lot of potential damage. They're kiting it under the keep. Johanna goes down. Both bottom keep and mid keep have now been eliminated. There's a lot of room to work with for CCS, and they are looking to finish off the series here. 3-1. Mockery taking so much damage from Drinking Bird. They're able to secure the kill. Drinking Bird, so many blinks, able to escape Auric's living weapon. Fade falling low. Porky takes out the Hanzo. So a lot of split focus in these fights ends up favoring CCS. The core shielding is falling. Just Drinking Bird and Delta left alive. I'd be surprised if they make this heroic defense, especially with how much damage Auric is able to put onto Drinking Bird here. Down below 50, down below 30% now. This core won't last long, and that will do it for this semifinal match. GG and well played to our two teams. CCS take it in a 3-1 fashion. No, I'm sorry. I'm all mixed up. That was the third game of the series, guys. It's 3-0. It's another domination. So there you have it. CCS able to continue their winning streak and lock in a third sweep of the season against THC. We can take a look at our post-game stats as I try and wrangle us an interview here. Just an unconscionable amount of damage going out from Zagara there. And we can see that's thanks largely to Corrosive Saliva at level 16. All right, let's see. Let's see about finding us a interview. An absolute dominant showing from CCS there. It's something that we kind of predicted given their regular season performance. But after what was a red-hot start to the third game, I thought that THC were about to give them a pretty solid run for their money and potentially start the reverse sweep. It was not meant to be, however, and CCS were able to close it out in 3. Okay, here we go. What more can we say? Game one going to Can't Connect Stuns was kind of a harbinger in my mind for how the series was going to continue. Historically, that had been Team Happy Cloud's favorite map to go to, one that they performed really well on throughout the season. And so their inability to get that win on their map pick kind of sealed their fate. It looks like we will have an interview here. Let me pop over to that scene so everyone can hear you. And we are joined by Mockery from CCS.
Good?
GG's, well played. How are you feeling after your 3-0?
Feeling pretty good, honestly, you know? It's a solid series. And if I remember correctly, they'd taken games off us before. You know, like, it's a 3-0, but it didn't feel like, oh, you know, we got it in the bag the whole time. You know, it was fun, fun time.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I did a little scouting on y'all before the series. This is your 6th matchup in the past 3 seasons.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, so there's a storied history here. Of course, I think this, you guys dominated both of the regular season matches thus far, so it's been pretty CCS favored as of late. Let's talk a little bit about the games. Game 1, Team Happy Cloud opt to take y'all to Battlefield of Eternity. This is a battleground that they had performed phenomenally well on in the regular season. I think they were boasting a 70% win rate, something like that, across like 7 games, which, you know, sample sizes. But is that something that y'all were expecting if they ever got map pick? Did you guys have any concern once you saw that that was the first battleground for game 1?
I'm gonna keep it real with you, Sound. Okay, HOTS is a game about minions, and Battlefield of no minions is an affront to God's vision for the game. I don't even think about it from a meta sense. I just fucking hate this map, dude. I saw that it was picked, and I was like, don't subject me to this.
Yeah, I agree.
In my ideal afterlife, there's just an endless minion wave in front of me, and I'm Zool, just kind of cutting through it.
Absolutely. Sign me up. I'll be right there with you, my friend.
Yes. So, as far as like scouting, we used to do more of that in the past, but this week, you know, it's just kind of what happens, or this season. And so we saw it, we were like, all right, you know, it's not our favorite, but we'll make it happen.
Awesome. Yeah, and I mean, it's an excellent battleground for Hanzo, which has been a favorite pick for the team for this season. A rare W build from you. How'd that feel?
Yeah.
It wasn't an auto attack build. Is that okay? Are you gonna be okay?
Yeah. So, It's specifically on Battlefield where you don't have a lot of minions, because you know the big drawback of W4 is the lower minion pressure compared to everything else. It's the fact that W build works so well on that objective.
Oh yeah.
And just you know, a lot of times like the style of play that you have with Porky as your main tank, you know, he's not just your average typical main tank. He's gonna go for some wild stuff. Some of it's gonna work really, really well. Most of it's gonna work really, really well. But you know, there's gonna be some aggressive engages there. So all in all, I think it makes sense given the situation. But yeah, you know me, man. You know me in particular. You know, I'd rather just be autoing.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, speaking of Porky's play, we can talk a little bit about Game 2 on Cursed. I thought that it was like, I mean, you guys were clearly like edging out wins. You know, you got the bot fort down. You were being a menace with Sergeant Hammer. It was getting a lot more done with your bosses. But it was the late game mid lane engagement from Porky onto Delta, basically under mid keep towers, where I was like, I think that man has gone too far. But y'all were right there to support the engagement. What are comms like in those situations when Porky's like, I see? Is it like I see something, I'm going? And you guys are like, what? Or
Dude,
is it the seasons of synergy that y'all have built up? You're ready for these sorts of things.
I don't know if you can hear team audio on the VODs, because Porky used to not have that, but I think he changed it. But I'm literally like, dude, nobody's fucking with you. Like in the comms, I'm like, nobody's with you, Porky. And he's like, we got this, we got this.
Well, I mean, sometimes you 1v3 on Diablo and you feel justified. Like, if you make the game-winning play, as Porky did in Game 2, feels like you're doing the right thing.
Yeah, no, I mean, dude knows what he's doing on tank, man. You know, there have been days where I was like playing in-houses and I was super tired. I was making it work, and then Porky logs on and farms me like 8 times, and I'm like, nah, I'm getting off. What he's doing, yeah.
And then last game, Dragonshire, once again, it felt like your team's command of the map just felt a lot more comfortable. You fell behind on the takedown count early and actually never ended up catching up, but we all know it's a game of minions and structures, and
yes,
that's where that's where y'all made the major difference. Whenever you had a power play, you got siege done. Whenever you didn't have a power play, you still got Dragon Knights. What's it like for Mainski to just like get free DKs? That sounds nice.
Oh, I'm sure it's amazing, dude. You know, just it's about Dragonshire is like this map where you're constantly looking over your shoulder because you can't just pack one area of the map. The objective forces you to look over everything. So just like, you know, any little bit of tug that we can get bottom, that just means something's gonna open up top lane. Anytime they push pressure on top lane, that just means something's gonna open bottom. And in particular, I just want to take a little soapbox moment here and say that Zagara Q1, Q7, that's what I picked there, the range and the slow on 1 and 7 is good as hell. All right, do not just be another sheeple following the meta, okay? No. Zagara Q1 means that when you're lane anchoring like I was, and I would have done the same thing if I was Zag in that Cursed Hollow game, it means that even if your teammates are inting, which is, you know, let's be real, it's a given the guys you see on this roster, even if your teammates are inting, you're still always getting value because that Zag Q level 1 gives you absurd range. So you're hitting the wave as soon as it walks through towers, you're hitting the towers even if you're like well outside of their range. And what that means is even when my teammates are dying in the early game and we're losing like 3 straight siege camps, I think it was.
Something like that,
I'm
yeah.
still getting, just regardless of how the game is going, you just get so much siege value from that build right there, and you still scale into a late game team fight monster. You saw I was like 50k at a second place. Like, I'm telling y'all, think for yourselves, experiment a little bit, all right? Don't, somebody flames you and says this build is trash. If that never happens to you, you're doing something wrong. All right, that's all I gotta say about it, all right?
Heard it here first, folks. Q7, Q1 on Zag. Give it a try.
It's the hotness. Oh my goodness.
It won a
We're not even
Nexus
gonna get into when
semifinal.
Mutalisk is the pick.
Oh no. Well, before we get too far down the rabbit hole, I'll let you get back to celebrate with your team. Before I let you go, the floor is yours for any shout-outs you want to give.
Hey, shout out to my lovely wife who finally quit this job that she hates, and she's going back to school to do something that is gonna make her happy,
Heck
and
yeah.
also coincidentally make us a lot more money. That part of it's pretty damn good too. Shout out to my wife, the best person in the world.
Nice. Well, thank you so much for your time, Mockery, and good luck in the Nexus Grand Finals.
Hey, thank you so much, Sound. Thanks for the cast tonight, buddy.
Absolutely. Take care.
See ya.
So there you have it, gamers and gentlefolk. An excellent interview for our game 3-0 series, but as Mockery mentioned, it was hard fought. All of Mockery's teammates now complaining about Mockery's trash build. It's mixed. It's mixed. The jury's out. It sounds like we all have to test it when we get home. That's what we're learning. What more can we say? 3-0, a commanding showing from CCS, continuing their domination streak against Team Happy Cloud this season, and they are set up to go up against the winner of, who is it now? Boogans Forever against Boomer Gaming. Oh, we can also do a quick little update to the bracket. See if that pushes. Whoop! Look at that. CCS win. How fun is that? So there you have it. 3-0. A strong showing from Can't Counterpick Stuns. A diversity of heroes and builds. We definitely saw some stuff that we might not usually. And a lot of great back and forth team fights, especially in that third game. Team Happy Cloud put up an excellent fight for their tournament lives. But in the end, it was the superior macro pressure from Can't Connect Stuns that took the day on Dragonshire. That's going to do it from me here. Before I sign off, I want to give some shout outs of my own. A huge shout out to all of the artists, programmers, and musicians whose work I feature here on the stream. It wouldn't look or sound anywhere near as good without all of their hard work. You can use the !credits command in chat to get links to all of their stuff, as well as stick around after I am gone for a credit roll. I would strongly recommend that you check out their work. They're fantastic folks. And also a huge shout out to the Nexus Gaming Series, all of the volunteer staff that make this league possible. We get to be live on the official channel, which is a huge honor, and it wouldn't be possible without all of the hard work that our division moderators, casting leadership, board members, etc. do. So big thank you to them as well. That's going to do it from me here. I will look for a raid opportunity to see if we've got one more match. I believe there's one more scheduled for this evening. We'll try and kick you over there. Until next time, however, you've been excellent. Good luck, have fun, peace, and love.